Hi, this is Kellen. I'm going to take you through the instructions for Craven Speed's return of the CAI. The first thing that you're going to want to do is unclip this battery terminal box from the side of the airbox. Your airbox won't move, it's just a demo. It's not quite held down all the way. The next thing you can do is loosen this hose clamp with a standard screwdriver. Then you can pull the hose free. Now I'm going back to the divider, where you can take a screw out of each side there that I pointed out and then pull this trim free. The screws aren't holding the trim down. Next, a number 25 Torx is what's going to remove the two screws that keep the top of the box secure, and then you should be able to wiggle that free as well. Then you can pull out your panel filter. It's probably not as dirty as ours was. Now we're going to go ahead and start removing the ECU. The top of that box just unclips, and then these triggers you have to pull. You may need to use a screwdriver to pry them. They have to be pulled all the way before that clip will come release. Now we're going to get rid of this inlet hose. You just have to undo one screw and then you can pull the whole hose free. Next, the two wires from the battery terminal are clipped into the side of the bottom of the box. You can free those as well just by threading them through the opening. Then pull the box towards you and up, and it will come free. Now these two rubber bolts that are down there can be undone by hand so that you can release this back of the box. And now you're going to want to assemble the box that we sent you. We start out close up on one of the corner brackets. They use the number 8 flathead screws and the nylock nuts. Just grip the nut from the outside with a wrench, and then you can use a Phillips head screwdriver on the inside to secure those. Then drop the ECU into place gently, and you can thread some of the 1/4 by 5/8 inch bolts with their nuts and washers through the outside. Just do them by hand, and then you can tighten them down with a wrench and a screwdriver just like with the corner brackets. There it is, all secured. Now we're moving over to the opposite side, and there you'll use those same type of bolts, the 1/4 5/8, and now some of the flat nuts that you're going to start using, and just loosely thread those flat nuts on the outside of the box, because later we're going to use those to clamp the battery terminal in place. This next step is going to involve the cross brace, which is the thin piece that is also powder coated just like the rest of the box. And you'll see it lines up with two screw holes on one side, one on the other. And these are going to use the conical washers with the number 10 screws. And you can thread all those and tighten them down. And then you have got the entire box completed. So we'll get the top ready to install the top. When you pull the top out, you'll need to use those 1/4 by 5/8 inch bolts again, and then loosely thread the flat nuts on just like we did earlier, because again these are going to be used later to tighten down the box top. The first step to installing the box in your Mini is going to be putting it in place. Make sure you've got the ECU cables as well as the battery cables and the hose out of the way, and then slide it into place. Make sure the hose is going to line up properly where you have it seated. Then you can move over to the side here where you're able to use a Phillips head screwdriver to attach two different screws to mount the box up against the divider. Then you have a screw and nut for the other side. You can use that to attach that to this portion of the divider. You'll notice that part of the box bends in order to conform with the shape of the divider there, and that is normal. That's okay. Looks like we still have some of the original strut tower defenders installed on Lassie at the time when we took this. Now slide the stock hose over the docking area and then use the hose clamp to make sure that it is properly sealed. Hopefully you've still got the hose clamp on the hose. Otherwise you got to do it again. Now we're moving back over to the ECU, where we're going to perform the same operation in reverse. where you can put the two clips in place and then press the portion of the clip in the part that you pulled out, and when you push it in, it will clamp down and the ECU clips will not be able to move at all. You can then set the rubber grommets into the cutouts on the box. Now on the battery terminal side, I'm using the screwdriver to hold the flat nuts in place while I tighten down the screws on the other side so that that battery terminal is completely secure up against the side of the box. That screwdriver just keeps them from spinning. Now you can install your air filter. It does come pre-oiled, but if you want, you can add your own oil. Oil is essential to the way that it filters particles from the air. Now when you're installing the top, I find if you turn the flat nuts up the way that I did in this demonstration and then seat it in place, that all you need to do is use your Phillips head screwdriver with a few quick turns to the right, and those flat nuts will slide into the slots and stay in place just as they were meant to. The clear top gives you the ability to check on that filter anytime that you want, and you can clean it with mineral spirits and give it a new spray of oil anytime that you want to, and it will last forever. Last thing you got to do is put that trim back in place. Make sure you have a proper hood seal. And once that is in there, then make sure nothing's loose and you're done.